Hi everyone, for today's video, I have decided to create a makeup look that is easy to do and fitting because all celebrations and all parties right now are happening virtually. Now, I actually get these types of questions or requests a lot because everything is virtual these days, and they're asking me about tips and tricks on how to look good in front of the camera. Now, I do have to say that putting on makeup for virtual meetings or celebrations is quite similar or almost the same to that when you're wearing makeup on a daily basis, but we just have a few things that we need to tweak because there are a few factors that we have to consider when putting on our makeup. So for this video, I'm actually shooting around 9 in the evening, and the reason why I'm doing this is because most virtual celebrations happen at around this time of the evening. Now, before I talk about makeup, there's one very important thing that I have to talk about, is that you have to have ample lighting when you are doing anything virtual. The main reason is because if you have ample light, this will actually solve around 80% of your problems. Now, you don't have to buy a ring light or you don't have to buy professional grade light, like, 2 lamps will be great. Just make sure that you put it right beside your laptop or your camera or your phone, whatever you're using when you're doing virtual meetings or virtual celebrations, because this will actually make your skin look even, and it will also make you look well lit, because that is very crucial. Not unless if you have the latest laptops or the latest mobile phones. The cameras on older models, or even like with some new ones, is not very forgiving, especially with the front cameras. Sometimes you look very soft and pixelated, and sometimes you don't look your very best. You look very ashy and very blue. So that's why it's important that you have to have light around you. Now, one other thing, when you're choosing the color of your bulbs, make sure that you mix daylight and warm white together, because this will just make your skin look healthier, especially when it registers on camera, because it brings out the natural tones of your skin. The reason why I'm saying this is because usually the light that is emitted by mobile phones and by your laptop screens are actually blue light. So this is the reason why I'm telling you to mix in some warm white into your lighting, because this will contradict the blueness that is reflecting from your skin. What the warm white actually does is that it just makes your skin look healthier, because if you have daylight on or white light on, you will tend to look very ashy. And because daylight or like white light has blue colors in it, it will just emphasize all of your blueness. So your under eye darkness will become much more pronounced. And then if you have any shadowy areas on your face that you don't like to be enhanced, it will be enhanced, it will deepen. Just try to add some warm white just to counteract and counterbalance the blueness that is emitted by your laptop screens or your mobile phones. All right, let's delve into the makeup now. So first things first, what I have on my skin right now is just my regular skincare, vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, and I also have some sunscreen on now. It's very important for me to wear sunscreen. It's because especially at this time that we are doing a lot of virtual things. We're all having meetings online, things like that, and then I have a lot of friends who have finally bought their own ring light and their own lighting system. So our skin is getting exposed to light damage, especially blue light. So it's very important that we protect ourselves, so that even if we're at home and we think that we're not being exposed to sunlight, like the devices I was talking about earlier, like your laptops and your mobile phones, and now your ring lights or your lighting system can actually cause you to have wrinkles. So always protect your skin no matter what. Okay, so I'm using foundation now. This is a foundation stick, and I'm just using my fingers to blend the product into my skin. The reason why I'm doing this is also so that I only have a very light layer of foundation on. And I also have to say I am actually using foundation which is actually a little bit darker than my natural skin tone. The main reason is because, again, I just want to counteract the blueness that my skin will register when the light from the laptop or the mobile phone hits it. So warming up your skin tone can actually help minimize the appearance of ashiness on your skin. And also, I do suggest that when you are using foundation, try to use like a foundation which is not super illuminating, because if you use foundations which has illuminating properties, you tend to look very, very oily on screen. And the main problem that I see with that is that sometimes when you come very, very oily and light reflects also off of your skin, you'll tend to look ashy. Okay, so now that I have sufficient coverage going on, it's time to add some color to the skin. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a cream blush. Now this is a nice peachy orangey blush. I avoid using blushes that are quite pink in nature because pink has blue pigments in it. And of course, when the blue pigments on the blush mix in with the blue color spectrum of the light that is emitted by the devices that you are using, it actually creates a very dulling effect, because the blue colors, when they get together, it tends to look again very, very ashy, and sometimes it deepens the blueness, so it creates shadows where you don't want. But the nice thing about using orange or peachy colored blushes is that it actually looks much more fresher on screen, and it also looks much more like the color would actually pop out, because the orangey color of the blush will actually counteract with the blue light that is coming out from the device. I really like this blush. I forgot the name because the label disappeared, and I think this is a Korean brand. The main reason why I like using this blush for like virtual meetings or parties even, is because this actually has a golden tone to it, so that makes this blush quite warm, and it has a few like golden flecks in it, which is not overly obvious, so I really like that. Now that's the important thing when you're doing makeup for virtual meetings or virtual parties, is that keep your makeup as simple as possible and don't overdo it. Like, don't over contour, don't over highlight, because it will not look good at all. Okay, next, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a lighter shade of foundation, and I'm just going to use it in the under eye area and blend it well into the blush. Now also, one other thing is that try to avoid using very light under eye concealers or very, very light foundations in this part of the under eye, because most of the time as you go lighter with the colors that you use in your under eye area, it has more white pigments in it, and what this happens is that it actually tends to wash you out, especially if you have an intense light going on. Like if you have like very white light going on, it will really, really wash you out, and it's gonna look very, very unflattering. And the thing with white color is that it has blue pigments in it, and because of this blue pigment and the blueness of the light that you have around your laptop or your camera, it's actually going to emphasize the dark circles under your eyes. So it's not a good idea. So just try to make sure that, you know, if you are using a concealer or like a foundation for your under eye area, like even if it's light, just keep it warm. Make sure that it has a little bit of some golden tones in it, just so it would brighten. And also, one thing by the way, when you are mounting your mobile phone or your laptop, make sure it's within your eye level. The main reason, because if you put your camera or your laptop way at a very low angle, it gives a person across the camera or the screen a very bad angle of your face. You might see your chin, your nostrils, your nose hair, things like that. It's very, very bad. And also, don't try to put the camera at a very high angle. It's also not very, very flattering, mainly because sometimes the light will cast shadows and it will give you darker under eyes, things like that. And also, it's not comfortable for you, because if the angle is too high, you're always looking up and you're actually hurting your neck with that. So just put it within your eye level, because it's more comfortable and it's much more straightforward that way. Okay, so I'm just powdering the areas of my face which I know is oily. So that's in the under eye area, in this part, and right before it hits the apple of my cheeks, just to mattify that. Perfect. Also my nose. Just very, very light strokes. And the great thing about the foundation that I use, it's actually a matte foundation. So I don't have to powder all over. Okay, so I'm gonna powder my cheeks just a teeny tiny bit. Okay, next, let's do the eyes. As I've said earlier, keep your makeup very simple, and also for your eye makeup look, keep it very, very simple. And what I'm using right now is just some cream eyeshadow. So I actually showed you guys this eyeshadow with my beauty haul video. And this is a very nice cream eyeshadow that just defines your socket line, and it's also matte. So as you can see, it's already giving me the definition that I want, and I like that it comes in a stick. So it's actually very, very easy to control and very, very easy to glide on your eyelid. And I am just using a brush to buff it out, to blend it. I do apologize, by the way, if there are like bugs flying around. We actually have a beehive here, so the bees are very attracted to the light right now. We actually see some honey coming out, and I don't actually have a beehive, but they've been living under our awning for years now, and we know that bees are endangered, so we don't touch them, we don't fumigate, we just let them be. We've been stung a number of times, and thankfully we're not, my boyfriend and I, and everyone who's living in the house is not allergic to them, so we're grateful for that. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glitter. Now this is a nice idea to put like nice shimmer on the eyelid, mainly because for drama. And it's also to help catch the light and reflect the light, because sometimes I've noticed that when you're doing stuff virtually, it's usually the eyes that lose their definition, mainly because it gets overshadowed by your brow bone, or you know, there's just bad lighting. So putting on something glittery can really help bring it to life. Now this is a long wear eyeshadow, so this will last all night long. And also be very careful, because once the eyeshadow sets, it's very, very difficult to actually blend them out. And if it has a lot of glitter here, and if you blend it with the brush, sometimes there's a tendency of the glitters to fall on your cheeks. So just try to be very, very careful. Okay, next what I'm going to add is some eyeliner. Now to be in theme with my eyeshadow, it's actually a bit rosy and golden and warm at the same time. I'm going to use this cream eyeshadow here. And I'm just going to lightly line my upper lash line. Now I'm not gonna go full dramatic with an eyeliner. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow my upper lash line and apply a very thin line. Now the reason why I'm not using black eyeliner for this is because sometimes I have noticed that if you use black eyeliner, when it registers on camera, it tends to look overemphasized, because you know, with all the shadows and with all the blue light, things like that. And the reason why I'm using this color is so that it just helps to make my brown eye color come out. Okay, so I don't want anything stark right now, so I'm just blurring the edges just to soften everything. Okay, so I'm going to leave my lower lash line as it is, just to avoid adding more shadow and darkness in the area. So I just want to keep it bright and simple. Okay, next let's add some mascara, and I'm only going to be applying mascara in my upper lashes. I'm going to be concentrating the product, the outer portion of my lashes here, just so it creates a lift. The thing with my lashes is that it's very, very long, and when I add volumizing mascara, it really like lengthens. And sometimes when that happens, my eyelashes actually tend to hit my brow bone or my socket line, and I end up cleaning them. Okay, so now my lashes look quite lifted and my eyes look very, very awake. Okay, next let's do the eyebrows. Now one thing you have to remember when you are doing your brows is that don't overdo it, because if you tend to overemphasize your eyebrows or like to overdraw it, it will overshadow your face. Now remember, when you are doing things virtually, what the people see on the camera is just your face, and if you overdo your eyebrows, it's the only thing that people will see. So just fill in the gaps as necessary. Try to create balance and try not to create harsh lines, because it's not gonna look flattering on the screen, trust me. All right, so that's the brows. And then next, what I want to do now is I actually want to add more color to my cheeks, because I think that the blush has melted into the foundation and it has just looked a little bit too natural, and I've decided to use Orgasm X. Now the main reason why I'm using this is because this is quite orangey and also peachy, and it has some gold flecks in it, and this will go in tandem with the blush that I used earlier. So I'm just gonna apply a small amount of product and blend it. Wow, this is a very pigmented blush, and I thought I had control over it already, but apparently I don't. Okay, so I do have to be very careful with the Orgasm X blush because it is highly pigmented. Okay, I'm gonna tone down the blush a bit. I'm just going to blend some translucent powder just to tone down the color. But I do like this blush. It's very refreshing, and it looks like it's making me flushed. So I like that. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some of this Doré Guerlain Meteorites just to add some warmth. Oh, I love the scent of these. Okay, just adding some of the Meteorites on my forehead just to add some warmth. And I'm not using any bronzer or contouring because I'm just trying to avoid making my skin look ashy and muddy on screen, because that's what happens if you use like contouring products or like bronzing products. So this finishing powder should work well. Okay, now for lipstick, I was actually initially thinking of wearing like a nice orangey lip like this, but I think it's just going to overpower my face, especially that my blush is looking very flushed at the moment. So instead, I'm gonna go with the color story of my eyeshadow. So I'm gonna use like a nice pink mauvish lip color, which is going to look much more natural and cohesive with the makeup look that I just created. Because I think if I use like an orange lipstick, it's just going to be way too much. And this nice lipstick actually complements the eyeshadow as well. And then also the great thing is that, you know, you can also use some lip gloss to add drama to the lips. I'm just adding the lip gloss in the middle of my lip just so that it catches the light, and it also helps to make my lips look fuller. So this is a complete look. I really like it. It's very simple, very fresh, very easy, and also not over the top. Now, one thing I have to say for this video, I did not purchase any new makeup. What I did is that I went through my makeup kit and I just picked out the products that was already there. So I featured some of them in previous vlogs. I featured some of them on my blog post. You don't really have to buy new makeup. You can actually use whatever you have in your makeup kit or at your disposal and create a nice makeup look. So if you have any more questions about today's look and the products that I used in this video, please leave them down at the comments box below and let's have a conversation about this. Now, before I let you go, I would like to wish each and every one of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope that this holiday season was a happy one despite how 2020 turned out to be. I know it has been very challenging for each and every one of us, but just stay positive and stay strong because everything will always turn out for the better. And I do hope that when 2021 comes along, it's going to be filled with renewed hope that everything will turn out for the best. Thank you so much for watching, and I do hope that you're having a good day wherever you are. Bye-bye.